Hello, my beautiful, gorgeous dancer, and welcome to another podcast episode of More Than Dance. Today, we are going to talk about when it gets hard in life and when it feels like you're bogged down and you don't know what to do, and how this affects dance and how this affects life. And I'm going to hopefully give you a couple of things to take home with you that will help you get through this season, this week, this day, or this moment. So first, let's just acknowledge that things are happening. I mean, we are on this constant roller coaster where we're going up, we're going down, we're going upside down, all around. We flip over, we go the other way. And I just love the idea of comparing life to a roller coaster because it really is all over the place. And if you've ever been on a roller coaster, it for the first time, it can be quite unpredictable. So spoiler alert, I went on the Hulk with my dad one time, and we went on the ride not knowing what to expect, and it was going up and it was going up and up, and we all know after it goes up it goes down. Well, in this situation, it went up and it went up and it went up, and then we were like, okay, it's about to go down because it's slowing down, and then all of a sudden it went boom and it went up, and it was like, whoa, like that was really cool. So I'm gonna think about this when we are thinking about life, because like sometimes our body is already preparing for a down when it's not about to go down. And the reason why it does that is because our minds are constantly looking for patterns and things that are similar. It's constantly looking for routine and things to predict. So me on this roller coaster ride, I was like, oh yeah, like obviously it's going to go down. And it surprised me by going up, and it wasn't in my control. However, we can have a little bit of control of our mind and our energy when we are thinking about our ups and downs in life. So instead of anticipating these downs and feeling like, oh, I just had this beautiful, amazing week, I'm probably going to have a shitty week next week. How many of you had done that before where you're just like, it can't be this good all the time. It has to go down. That is your brain waves. Like you would, if you've ever read anything of Joe Dispenza's, you would literally say like, oh yeah, this is your brain cultivating a routine and a feedback loop for negativity / something that goes down, something that's not good, and something that's ultimately going to make you ill in some form, whether physical or mental. So when we anticipate a down, we're actually living in the down before we're in the down. I'm going to say that again. When we're anticipating the down, we're actually living in the down before we even, that means that we're experiencing what it's like to be down when we should be up and when we should be high. So yes, I was on that roller coaster. I was going up, 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 up. And I was literally like, okay, we're going down soon. We're going down soon. I was like all clenched and my whole body had a whole reaction to me going down. I wasn't going down yet. We were going up. So my body should have been like, oh yeah, here we go. We're going up. Can you imagine if every up moment that you had, it followed an upper moment as opposed to a downer moment? Like what would that feel like in your body? What would that feel like as you present to the outside world? How would that make you live and react differently if you weren't always anticipating a down? Now, life is life, and we know that downs do happen. So I know I'm talking about we went up and then we went upper, and yes, after that we did go down. However, my body wasn't ready for it when I went down, so I was just like, oh, we're going down now. So that's just one tiny aspect of our life roller coaster. The other is understanding that when we are going down and we are aware that we are going down, it's important to know that one, it's okay to go down. And two, it's also the reality that we will go back up, because life loves contrast. Contrast is dark and it's bright. Contrast is up and it's down. Contrast is left and then it's right. And that's exactly what we're experiencing with life at any given moment. How many of you have literally, like, especially if you've been on your period, you're like feeling like excited and happy and like you're fine. And then the next minute you're like, oh my God, this is a disaster. Said every person on their like planning an event, like think about that. Oh my gosh, I can't wait for this event. And then you're like, oh gosh, this is a disaster. I can't believe, like, I don't know how we're going to get through this event. It's literally contrast, and contrast is amazing because it allows us to understand what down is so that we appreciate up. It allows us to understand what up is so that we can appreciate and learn from and grow from when we are down. So next time when you are feeling down, just simply acknowledge, like, okay, I get to appreciate being here because being here means that I'm going to have more appreciation for when I'm up there. It's an acknowledgement of the truth, right? Because it is something that happens. I mean, there might be a time where, I mean, we talked about going up and then going upper. There might be a time where you go down and you go downer. That is a reality. And I'm sure you've experienced that before. I know I've experienced that before. And it's kind of like, how? Why me? Why now? You know, that phrase, it rains, it pours. That's literally this situation. It's like, I'll never forget, I had this knee surgery. It was a double whammy. Like, it was a front, back knee surgery. And then like prior to it, I had like a yeast infection. And then after, I had another yeast infection because the stress and like the anticipation just threw my whole body off. And then I got sick, and then I got sick again. And then it was just like, wow, I'm really like going down. I'm going timber. Yes, I went down. And then honestly, I had so much more appreciation for, as always, whenever I'm injured or whenever I'm hurt, I always get more appreciation for when I'm well. And I'm like, oh my God, I can walk. Wow. You know, things that we aren't really appreciating. But that's that beautiful reality of contrast. So step one, yes, just acknowledge that, like, okay, I'm down right now. Simple. I'm down right now. It's not that you have to react and you don't have to do anything right away. Obviously, yes, we do as humans. We want to fix things and we want to like make things better, and we don't want to live in this. We don't want to feel sorry for ourselves unless you do want to feel sorry for yourself. And that means that you're a victim. And that means I hope you get out of that mindset, because no one is going to want to be around you, and you're going to be thinking that no one wants to be around you because of them, but it is because of you. So don't allow yourself to fall into the victim mindset, because it will only get worse and worse and worse. You know, and on a less sassy note, I think I might just talk a little bit about that victim mindset, because it is easy to go into that. And it's like, why me? It's just like, oh God, like how am I finding myself here again? Or have you ever found yourself in a situation and then you've gotten yourself out of that situation, and then maybe 2 years later, you're in the exact situation. You're like, how am I here again? What did I do? What did I do to get here again? So like we can get into this habit of questioning ourselves. And then it's like, you know, maybe we think, wow, I deserve this for somehow. No, you didn't. You didn't deserve this. It's just the nature of its course. There might be a lesson in it. And also, sometimes shit just happens and there's no need to reach for significance. Like it's not your high school paper where you 3 R's, repeat, what was it? Repeat, rephrase, and reach for significance. No, there is no reach for significance with a problem sometimes. Yes, maybe you can learn from something. Of course, we can learn from something else. But how horrible would that be if every horrible thing that happened to you, you're literally like, it's me, it's my fault, I did this, da, da, da. No, it's just get used to it, because life just does that. It's not just happening to you, it's happening to everyone around you. And the best thing you can do for yourself is actually create the skills to feel the feelings, acknowledge the feelings, right? Because the feeling is, it's not why me, that's not a feeling. The feeling is despair, betrayal, fear, unknown feelings. What are those feelings? You know, someone said that if you can name your feelings, then you have some high percentage, I don't know what it exactly is, some high percentage of acknowledging and moving on from those feelings if you know how to name your feelings. So I love doing that. I love to be able to be like, what am I feeling right now? Sometimes it's just I'm feeling frustrated. And to be able to name that is like, maybe it comes off first as mad, then it's sad, then it can go through that journey. Brene Brown has this beautiful book. It's kind of like a dictionary of feelings, and you can like go through the whole book, and there's like a wheel of feelings that you can just experience and understand and know and learn. Because I think that's the big part of it, of these roller coasters and these ups and downs, is just to learn more intrinsically about yourself and to know how things are connected to make better decisions and to make better life choices and to get closer and closer to your goals so you can live your authentic self so you can find your ultimate happiness. I mean, that's literally what we are always trying to seek. So when you're feeling like it's hard, it's probably feeling hard for multiple reasons. One, because you had a down. Two, because now you're trying to name that feeling. And now three, you're trying to be like, okay, well, how do I get out of this feeling? Sometimes the answer to that is just to feel it. And the other one is just to acknowledge that like everything you're doing is going into a basket. So here you are. Here's your cute little wicker basket, woven basket. It's a basket and it has holes in it. And so you're like, ooh, friends can help me. You put that in your basket. Talking to my boyfriend. Oh, that will help. Okay, journaling. Oh, yeah, here it is. I'm going to put it in my basket. And what else could I put in my basket? I journaled. Oh, I took a shower. I did some self-care. Well, guess what? Everything you're doing, because you're putting it into a woven basket, it's seeping out and it's dripping out. When we're down, we're not holding a crate that's not going to have things fall out of. We're holding something with holes in it. And that means everything that we're doing is going to seep out. And it's okay, because eventually you get to realize that all the fucks that you're giving are also going to seep out of the basket too. And soon you'll have this like rainbow moment where you'll be like, okay, and you'll lift yourself out. Something will change, something will shift. Let's talk about those things that will shift. Going on a trip, that's going to shift energy. Going somewhere that you don't normally go, breaking routine, breaking habit, that's always going to shift. Meeting someone new, doing an event you don't normally do, going to a dance class and listening to songs you don't normally dance to, just taking a moment to do something that is completely opposite of when you would normally do that thing in the day, that's going to change it. And then you're going to have your rainbow moment and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, something feels different. Maybe you still feel down, but maybe you're on the rise. Maybe you went down, or who knows. But slowly, your fucks will be given less. And it's also because you're processing while this is happening too. So you're giving yourself this nice little amount of time to process. Maybe something happened and occurred and you're drawing meaning from that occurrence to mean something about you, which means now we get to talk about validation, because that means also that you're relying on this external force to give you validation, when we know the best thing that we can do for ourselves is to allow ourselves our own validation. And what that looks like is just a talking to yourself. So for example, sometimes I find validation if I have a full class. Like I'll be like, okay, like I'm validated, like I'm a good teacher. When really it just could be that it was a day where a lot of people could make it. Because also on the days where I have maybe less people in class, I'm like, I'm still just as great. So my job there would be to validate myself and be like, this has nothing to do with you. And this is where we hold ourselves to those standards versus thinking about our expectations. So like the expectation would be, maybe I am like a better teacher. You know, like I can show myself that I'm a good teacher because my class is full. That's not true. The standard is I'm always a good teacher, whether my class is full or not, because I'm always going to be applying the same principles. So I get to validate myself that way by being like, okay, this has nothing to do about this. So when you're able to self-validate, oh my gosh, what a skill. When you can self-validate, then you literally can get to your rainbow moment maybe faster, and then have the ability to like close off all the holes in your basket. And then you just get to hold all the things that you've been doing. Taking a bath, going somewhere that's going to help you, taking your trip, talking to your friends, talking to your loved one. All those things are great supports, but when you're holding something with holes in it, it's not going to support you as much as it does until you validate yourself and can feel yourself first, and then take those outside things. But do remember that the one good thing about the basket is the fucks seep out. And soon you will realize that we get the opportunity to not give a fuck. And that's a practice skill. Oh my gosh, there's so many practice skills that are going to be helpful for us. Validating ourselves, learning not to give a fuck, learning to not anticipate the down before we fully know that we're going down. And I think the last thing that I want to mention about when it gets hard is it's such a great opportunity for you to be gentle and soft with yourself, because when it gets hard, it doesn't mean go harder. And that's honestly what we can think sometimes. Like, okay, my class wasn't full. Now I'm going to like go harder. Like, no, it's a time for me to be like, wow, like, look at that. Like I have classes that have varying numbers, and it can be about the weather, and it could be about the season, and it has something to do with me. So do I need to go harder? Maybe I could. if I wanted to, but it doesn't have to be that way. So I could be like, oh, like maybe, I get a chance to like bond with my students in a different way because there's less people. And that's usually what happens when we have less people in class. And if you've been in one of my classes, when there are less people, you love those nights because it's like nice and close and intimate and cute. And now look at that. What I felt was a certain way. Now I'm providing a completely different, beautiful value to my students in a different way than I would if my class was full. And then usually there's beautiful comments about that too after the class. So the perception that we give ourselves is not always the reality. Sometimes we get to dig a little bit deeper for it, and sometimes we don't, as we talked about. Sometimes things just don't have meaning. So the next time it's getting hard for you, I want you to just let yourself feel and allow yourself to move through these concepts of self-validating, knowing that it will pass, knowing that it goes up and down, knowing that it might not go down, downer. And guess what? It's part of life and it's okay. And you're aware of it and you understand contrast. And that's how we move forward with life and with dance. Because just a quick dance example, when we're thinking about dance, when it gets hard, it's getting hard because you're challenging yourself in different ways. So the most common reason why dance is getting harder is because you now have succeeded at brilliant goals. You literally were like, okay, check, did that. I'm going to make this harder for myself and I'm going to create some other more detailed, more specific goals than you had before you came in. So if you've ever had the experience of like doing something, whether dance or not, and it's now harder than you thought it was, it's because now you've gone deeper into that subject matter and now you've allowed yourself a great opportunity to be like challenged in a very different way. A more specific way, a more profound way, and a more elite way. And that's literally how you grow. Because a lot of people know a little bit about a lot of things, but to know a lot about a deep thing means that you're more of an expert in that area. So me, I'm an expert in dance because I've been dancing for hours upon hours upon hours upon hours. Something I have done a little bit of time, I've crocheted once and I know how to do it. And I know a little bit about that, but I'm sure there's going to be different knots and different things for me to learn. I always thought that was so funny. And the moment this actually clicked for me was I did powerlifting for a little while. And I just remember doing like deadlifting and weights. And I've always been involved with fitness. Like I was a personal trainer and like taught fitness classes and I know a lot about the human body, not about the muscles. And my trainer at the time, like, he was like, all right, we're going to do one of the blank blank grips. And I was like, what? And he was talking about like the grips, like literally the way that you hold the bar. And I was like, who the hell knew? Like that you could hold it in a different way and it was going to be this big, profound change. Like I remember that being just like huge aha moment for me, not only in powerlifting, but in life. I'm like, oh my God, if this goes this deep, holding a barbell, like, can you imagine how deep it really, really goes? And that's like the best appreciation moment that I had for like every skill that exists. And I'm sure you've seen those videos like on Instagram where they're showing like people literally just like putting bricks down and they do it so fast and so swift. And it's literally like, oh my gosh, like the skills that it takes, like it's knowing it in the exact measurement and knowing how to do it so fast that it seems like it's the easiest thing in the world, which oftentimes dance will look like it's the easiest thing in the world just because of how graceful and elegant it looks. And then when you go to do it, it's like, holy crap, there's like all these different breakdowns of the body that I get to learn now. So when dance gets hard, when life gets hard, use these strategies and don't forget that when you're down, you can be up very soon. And when you're down, you also can just be down and you can just be, and that can be okay. So I hope that this helps and I hope to see you on the dance floor or in the next podcast episode. I'll see you soon.